Mic check. Mic check. Mic. 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 What day is it? Mic. Mic. What day is it? Hello, 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 and welcome to another One Lion of Code. I am One Lion. If you have not seen, I started a prediction, and I'm putting it for 30 minutes because we don't really get that many visitors right up front. So for the most members of the community to participate, I set the prediction for 30 minutes, and it's the traditional Irish John games. Did I get a haircut? Was the hair cutted? Was there a trim? Who knows? So I'm going to keep my camera off while we let that play out. Give no hints, no surprises. Not surprises, no giveaways. So if you feel like it, feel free to cast your prediction. Okay. But other than that, let's see. Hello everyone, welcome in. Hello Scott, you were first today. Dukasoft bot, One Lion. Oh jeez. Where do we know? Okay. So where we were at on Wednesday was finishing up the lot reference stuff. I am pleased to announce that the lot reference stuff is done. Ooh, now that we can see behind my head, actually, I'm gonna put up the little nom-noms. Hey, little nom-noms, where are you? Or wait, Can we use this one? Maybe we can use this one. I love this one. No, it only plays for one time through and then stops. I need a repeating version of that. So you need to go back to the center. I need a repeating version of that. Copy, paste as a duplicate. I can't paste as a duplicate. Whatever. We're just using the nom-noms. Too much work. Okay. What we left off doing was the lot reference thing. That is complete. So I was going through logging all of the to-dos, logging all of the work that needs to be done still. And after the end of my workday, it wasn't even like, you know, between that 1:30 to 3:30 my time kind of time where just about, oh gosh, I forgot to push this button, where just about anyone can, or where you don't really know whether I'm on the clock or not. I typically am not. It's just weird to stop my workday at 1:30 and be like, I'm not answering any emails that come in after 1:30 because people are still working. So even though it's the end of my 8-hour day. So I still answer emails. Anyway, so these emails came in at 4:30 and they were surrounding some, oh, that's what I forgot to do. Dang it, Restream is not gonna work. That was stupid. I was busy doing other stuff. No, doesn't even see the other one anymore. Well, crap. That was dumb. Restream isn't going to work today. Not that we have too many people on YouTube's, but sure would have been nice if I did this in the right order and didn't distract myself. Okay. Anyway, so I got that email at 4:30 and it was like, here's this question about this thing that we talked about before. And I was like, yeah, that should work. Let me test it real quick at 4:30. So I tested it, verified that it worked. And they're like, what about the other way? And I'm like, yeah, that also does work. I tested that. And then they're like, I hate to bother you, but I have this situation. And I'm like, yeah, that's one of those regular expression types of things. And I gave them the information on how to construct the transformation thing so that they get the value that they want back, and gave them a screenshot and everything. However, in doing all that stuff, I logged a few more things that I hadn't realized before, which is kind of annoying. So those are logged, and now I'm working through those this morning. I did take some time. I did take some time this morning to deal with something that was on my mind. So I dealt with it. Okay. Whew. So right now I am a, I always forget, are you a squirrel or are you a chipmunk? I think it's a squirrel. I think we looked this up like 80 times. But anyway, right now I'm that because I have a prediction going for, did I get my hair cut or not? Which is going for another, I don't know, I can't tell how much time that is. 20 minutes, I'd assume. We've burned through about a third of the time. Maybe only a quarter of the time. 22 minutes. Whatever. It's there. Feel free to cast your predictions. If you so choose. Okay. So over here, what we are looking at is hopefully my Git tool version of the new branch that I had been working on for updating some UI components. In this case, it's the button UI, which I might have to do a clean and build if it didn't apply my CSS changes from over there, and it just pulled the latest CSS. But we'll find out. if it ever decides to run. That was a Dukasoft mention. That was a really good thought. So we're going to do that as well. So this one is specifically the core library, and the component library that we're shipping with it, this is going to be in the open source project. Another thing that I'd like to do very soon, now that we are wrapping up the lab data import utility, is to do all of the project rename stuff so that it's easier for me to copy over into the open source library. That'll be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it? Okay, so some of the UI elements that were appearing kind of small are these add new rule buttons. I applied the default input styling, which kind of looks like Bootstrap a little bit, but the default input styling in the combined fields, wait, that should be fixed. That's one of those things that needs to be updated. So I'm going to go through and first try compiling all of the compiler.config files. See if that updates my local CSS. Done compiling. Do the next one. Do the hustle. What are these noises you're making? Young lion. Aw, thank you for calling me young. That was so kind of you. Compile this one. I'll probably be doing a lot of random goofiness talking to myself because I feel really awkward about the message that I just sent, kind of feeling down on myself for even doing it, but it's all good. It'll be okay. Wait, wrong marquee. I mean, this marquee isn't wrong. It's just, I leave that up for community day. I like to have this one up so that we know what we're doing. Aww. Why are you feeling down on yourself, President? Not sure. You're an amazing. I want to help you not feel down on yourself if it's not an experience that you want to have right now. Why didn't it apply? I'm going to control F5 to see if maybe it was just a cache CSS that it pulled. It's weird though, because it did get the different input size, the select and input styles. But what's supposed to happen here is that this element here, this TD has column, what do you call it? Combined fields wrapper, should have gotten a style that says vertical align top. Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm putting that on the wrong one. So TD has combined fields wrapper, which I'm not seeing that rule in here, should get vertical align top so that looks the same. So President Not Sure is saying, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that bad stuff happened at this time last year and it's a little harder than usual to deal with. Definitely understand. Well, you have my thoughts, any energies, if you're into that kind of thing, that I could just send your way without infringing on your free will to, again, feel whatever it is you're feeling and experience what you're experiencing. But I just hope you have the space to feel that way and not judge yourself harshly for it. Hello, TBD Gamer! Fantastic stream this morning. Shout out to TBD Gamer. He's working on developers.stream. All right, cool. Well, I hope you enjoy your walk. And if you have the space to do so, can you send some of your calming energy that you might get during your walk my way? Because I could really use some. Um, I'm feeling so very anxious, and there's a lot of turmoil going on inside. A lot. Um, yeah, may it be a relaxing walk, says TBD. But TBD was working on developers.stream this morning. He's figuring some things out about how Blazor works. He still doesn't like Visual Studio, which is completely understandable. There are so many things that it does differently than Writer, and Writer you're used to, and used to it doing things better than your experience with Visual Studio. So completely understand. I hope the experience gets a little better for you as you get more used to Visual Studio, but chances are, I mean, because Writer is your preference, you are gonna find more things that you don't like about Visual Studio than things that you do like. Regardless though, developers.stream coming along nicely. He's got the ability to log in using a third-party IDP, identity provider. In this case, it's Twitch. He's using your Twitch profile purely to say, do you stream on this platform? If so, then you can start registering platforms, channels and stuff, which is really cool. I love the idea behind developers.stream. I think that Twitch recently tried to add the, what are they called? Clubs or something? I think they're called clubs, like the Developers Club or whatever. I don't know what they're called, but Twitch started trying to do another thing so that people who stream software and game dev can be in a club together and shout each other out and all that, but it still doesn't seem to provide the same capabilities that developers.stream will. So developers.stream, you opt into registering all of your channels, any of your channels from any streaming platform, and put your custom description, your tags to make yourself discoverable, and me, the developer who does stream, have the opportunity to check the API, see if when you speak in my chat, if you're in that API. If so, go out, grab the platforms that you're on, get your summary, shout you out, say amazing things about you because you are amazing. I'm glad you can't see my wild hand gestures right now, but I have Squirrel up because I have a prediction going. I don't usually do predictions. I think the last time we did one, Dukasoft did this, like, I don't know how long ago it was, but Dukasoft did it for me. But I have the prediction going for 30 minutes because we usually don't get a lot of viewers right up front. I am keeping my eye on YouTube because I forgot to tell Restream where my YouTube video was, my live stream for YouTube was, before opening OBS, so there's a disconnect happening there. So I try to keep my eye on YouTube chat. All right. So I'm trying to hunt down why we aren't getting the style applied for the table. And that is going to be specifically in the field mapping partial, because I remember seeing it here. And here it is. So if we, oh, because this is in div, my bag. Oh, one of those things that's like, you step away for a half second, you look at it again, and it's glaringly obvious. It's right there. Okay. So if we look at it again and we choose combined fields, then it stays up at the top, provided it's not keeping my manual element. Cool. Good. Okay, so one of the things that I improved was the visibility on this add button, and the visibility on the remove button. The edit button was pretty visible the whole time, but now you can see the remove button a little bit better, the add button a little bit better. I would still love to have some kind of UI for providing the rule detail, like be able to drag and drop the field that you selected into here and it'll put in the syntax for you. One day it will happen. Okay, then in here, that should also update the way the button looks here, but it's still rather small. Are you the same type of button? Are you just and plus? No, you are the actual plus symbol compared to this one here, which I think is an SVG. No, it's the plus symbol. Okay, so why is this styling for the add button not getting carried down to the child component? Because I'm specifically telling it the add button inside of tbody trtd. But that's where we are. Because it's not : deep. And I wouldn't be able to do it there. I would have to do it up here. Button, deep button. And that's still not going to work because it might work. And I want the plus sign buttons to be bigger. Okay, what do you say? Nothing. Didn't target it. Wait, yes I did. Font size 1.4 rem. Are you getting overwritten? No, that's what 1.4 rem looks like. Oh wait, oh wait. That's up here. That's not this ad, is it? This ad is not in a TD. Wait, but that shouldn't matter. I just keep going back and forth. Okay, so this not being in a TD should not matter because I am targeting any button, regardless of whether we are in table or not, right? No, we're in table. We're in table. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm gonna steal this instead then. And pull it out. Wait, it is outside. No, it's not. We're inside of table here. Dang it. All right, well, let me make sure that it works like this. No, still doesn't. Then again, it could just be that the CSS didn't really auto sync. Get your predictions in. Running out of time. How am I doing? I don't like doing predictions. What do you think? Did my hair get gone or did I keep my mane long? We'll do this every day unless and until one or the other happens. Yes, for those of you listening at home, I did word that like that on purpose. Okay. I did a control F5. Oh, good. Except that Project Thumbs. So that we can see if the styles will get applied. Or if I need to investigate further, because I'm really not thinking too hard about where I should be putting that style. Yeah. What? Well, we definitely know it's not being applied. Orange juice. Why wouldn't that be getting applied? It got applied when we were inside of T-body. but it didn't get applied just now, or not inside of T-body, inside of table, but it didn't get applied just now. Well, I guess we can see if autosync works by putting this back. And we put it back here. Save. No, CSS autosync didn't work. So here's a refresh. Oh, it's gonna do this thing. Yep. Goodness. No. And we've lost all of our styles. All right, let's see if this works. Last time this happened, I was getting errors with my compiler config, but it says done compiling. I didn't see whether it was successful or not, but I'm assuming it was. We would otherwise see a web compiler item in our output, but we don't. So I'm assuming that it was successful. There's my styles and no crash. Good. 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 You're doing good. Now, close your eyes. Breathe in. I think my next stream is just going to be a, I'll do work, but I will just do a meditation the whole time. No. We'll do a guided meditation. Yes. So my Omnom is up because I didn't have anything else to cover that portion, because I currently have a prediction going for another 5 minutes, I'm going to assume. I don't know how to tell how much time is left on the prediction. So yeah, we'll do the reveal here. And I did it for the maximum amount of time so that we can have as many viewers here, and those that want to participate can wager points if they so desire. Okay, so I've completely lost my styles. Not even completely lost. I've lost my button styles that were being applied at this level, and now they're not. And I don't know why. Quite confused. You are 01L library style. Ghetto styling. Okay, so I'm gonna do the whole clean and clear. So let's stop the app. So files are not in juice. Juice. Open the folder, and I'm gonna delete bin and notch. Manually. That's his real name. In case you were wondering. Shout out to Big Gamey, who is currently streaming. He's gonna think that that was Dukasoft, which I want him to think that that was you, Dukasoft. Here it is. There. It was Dukasoft. Yes, it was. Okay. You get the credit, not the blame. I'm not here to blame you for anything. There's a raffle going on Big Gaming's channel, by the way, to give away one of the stickers showing on his screen. There are some really, really, really cool ones in there, man. I like that fairy. Those are some really cool stickers. But good. There are 3 people in there now. There's Nerduino, there's Dugasoft, there's Balint, and Tubby Crumbles. I do, but I don't want to rob anyone of the chance. I wouldn't use them. They are really cool though. Rob isn't here. Rob said hi to me earlier. What do you mean he isn't there? Unless he stepped away while I was away. Okay. The prediction is done. I'm going to get it up and open so that we can do the reveal. We have 2 people to 0. Man, I should have done the prediction. 2 people to 0 so that I could win your money because, ladies and gentlemen, I have not cut my hair. Yes, I cut my hair. Of course I cut my hair. Why would I put up a prediction when I never do a prediction to try to cheat you or make you think that I didn't cut my hair? So the correct answer is yeah. I cut my hair. Congratulations to our 2 winners who got their money back. So yes, I did cut my hair. I tried to trim it first. My plan, my strategy for doing that did not work. So I just, there were 3 things that didn't work in my favor. 1, I'm not good at physical world stuff. So my plan on, my wife, she put my hair back in the warrior bun and I was just going to cut straight across for that. And then I had her tie the remaining hair up into a ponytail thing and I cut that. But I was like, wait, after cutting it, I really should have had her section it off into like different sections on either side of the head. That way it would be a more even cut, but I wasn't thinking. I don't know how this stuff works. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to trim it then using the trimmer like I normally do. I just take a trimmer and put a 1-inch spacer on it. Excuse me. So I usually put a 1-inch spacer on it, and when I tried to attach the 1-inch spacer thing, the little latch that holds it in place was broken. So I couldn't use the 1-inch spacer, so I had to go to the one smaller. So I cut my hair even shorter than I wanted to, but that's okay. It'll grow back. I cut it for the event that's going on in July, where we're going to be around my wife's family and parents, but my hair will eventually grow back. Why is my mic quieter than usual? Give me a second to get my mic to... Man sneezing, I'm telling you. Anyway, cool story. Mic check. Mike, I can't even see. Mic check. Mic check. Mike. Michael check. Michael check. Okay, that's better. Let me know if I'm too loud for you though. Okay. All right. You win. You beat me, Sneeze. Whew. So we're trying to figure out why these button styles stopped applying. So what I did was a complete clean. I deleted bin and obj from the folder directory. And now I'm doing a rebuild. The first one typically fails because of this JavaScript file. When it does a rebuild, it deletes it, and then it tries to run the TypeScript build at the same time as the restore. And so it's like, I can't find the file mapper func JavaScript file. But it looks like it's going to be fine this time. Awesome. Tukasoft, congratulations. he's stringing you along as much as Irish John does. Stream Deck is failing, except his is not on purpose. Fun times. Oh, okay. We built this city. All right, we still have our styles. Yay, Tubby Crumbles. Man, what happened? What did I do wrong? I'm just gonna undo all of this and figure out where this button was. Interesting. So what is different? Oh, I remember this situation. If you have two nested : deeps, the style does not apply. And so no matter what happens, when we get to this point, we will always have at least one parent : deep, one parent component, that is. Yeah, dang it. Okay, so we still need to be able to target that. And the way that I'm doing that is moving this out to here. Okay, so in this case, we will use : deep button. And in this case, we will already have a : deep outside of it. So we just do the button directly. And now, absolutely, oh wait, no, it worked. I was like, absolutely nothing happened. Oh, I need to be careful with my wild hand movements now. I'm on camera. Oh dear. Okay, so that's done. I've improved the visibility of the buttons for add and remove. They could use some tooltips to make them more informative, so let's do that next. Mini commit for improved visibility. Improved visibility of add and remove buttons. I committed and I'm waiting for it. And now we're going to add tooltips to remove. And what I think I'm going to do is explicitly state which rule clicking this button will remove. So this will remove the transformation or the interpolate rule. Dukasoft! Congratulations. If you don't know what I'm congratulating Dukasoft for, you in the future, or you watching on YouTube, or anyone even on this channel who is not also lurking on Big Gaming's channel, Dukasoft just won a sticker from a raffle on Big Gaming's channel. Ooh, nice choice. Nice choice. Yeah, I really like that fairy sticker. The unfortunate thing and of course, there's a lion sticker in there, but he has gears on his head. See you later, Dukasoft. Okay, so we got it to work. We are looking for the field mapper, no, value transformation configuration with the add Arduino. Oh dear. Oh, I need to do stuff with my nose. It's about to drip everywhere. Back in a moment. Much better. Thank you so much for the resub, Captain Commerce. Holy cow, just in time. I was clearing out my nose because it was being a little drippy after those sneezes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hope you have been well. Oh man, those sneezes though, they take a lot out of me. I'm looking for a couple of buttons. Do you know where I can find some buttons? Oh, the cow. So it would be in the field mapper editor, wouldn't it? Value transformation input base is where it would be. Maybe. Jeepers. Captain Comer says, I have no idea why you asking for buttons made me chuckle a bit, but it sure did. It's because I'm looking for a couple of buttons, and I was thinking maybe you would have some. It's not in any of these. I'm sure it's in the value transformation input base though. Do you have a... No, you don't. Field mapper editor, base. Do we see any for eaches? Internal item content template. So this is one row of the field mapper editor. So that would be one row here. We're looking for this component, all of the mappings. Man. Oh, goodness. So this is going to be the plus and minus buttons for the combined fields. Oh, man. Ow. Ow. Oh my goodness, that hurts. Captain Converse is saying, things have been a little hectic. I'm in office Monday and Tuesday, but this morning they canceled it, saying there was a power outage at the office, which is why I'm able to lurk a bit before my next meeting. Well, thank you so much for your lurkage. Thank you for taking the time to do that here. Thank you for the resub. You know it's never required, but absolutely appreciated. Love to see your face. It would have been cool if you brought some buttons though. Is it in here? Field mapping, field transformation configuration. Yes, this is it right here. Oh, I have buttons small on here. There's my issue. These were button smalls. They shouldn't have been button smalls. I could have just made them regular size buttons and their visibility would have went up immediately. We'll see what kinds of stuff this breaks. Gilgamesh! If you were here earlier, you would have been able to predict whether or not I cut my hair. I told you guys not to be surprised at this. You're exceeding my expectations. I'm so mean when it comes to this. It's like, I know I cut my hair. I was there. I did it. The story goes that, and man, I really need to make that a meme. I'm gonna find it real quick. I don't think I'll be able to find it real quick because I can't think while I'm on stream. What am I thinking? Exactly. Whatever. I won't be able to find it. So anyway, what it was that happened was I really intended to trim my hair like 3 inches or so that it would grow out to the same length by the time we are heading out to this family thing that's going on in July. However, I failed epically at trimming it because I didn't plan correctly. And so I was like, okay, well, let me grab the normal trimmer that I usually use, put the 1-inch little spacer on it. And when I put the spacer on, the little clip that holds it in place was broken. So it wouldn't be held in place. So I couldn't use the little spacer for the 1-inch spacer, at least, for not cutting as much of my hair off. So I ended up using the 7/8 inch, which you wouldn't think would make a big difference, but that extra 1/8 inch took off a lot of hair. It was a lot of hair. A lot of hair. Hello, Gickover. We will serve us. All of us. With the Gopher dance. Put it off entirely and get bold. Well, I made a deal. Can I say it that way? I made an agreement with my wife that, oh, it's going to be easy. It only takes a year. That I wouldn't grow my hair longer than hers. It's just, I'm so lazy, I don't like to cut it. So that's how we ended up where we were. And it ended up being okay too. She did a great job maintaining it. What am I looking for? Title. Add a new transformation. Remove the, and then the specific transformation that we are at is cur transform dot transform, not cur transform. This is an actual transformation result. I need the field transformation, please. I need the value transformation, please. Which is we're going to call you cur transform result. But yes, I do apologize for offending you for cutting my hair. I didn't intend to cut it this short. Next time I will make sure to seek permission first. All right, cur transform. Oh, that is the right one. Dot description. No, not description. Display name. Display name. Did I just see dot result? Not anywhere on my stuff, no. Wait, yes. Yes. Yes, you did. Do you have, and you can suggest it if you have it, and you can just totally ignore this otherwise, do you have a better approach for me to get my array of transform results when iterating through a list that needs the up-to-date transformation results in real time for an asynchronous method? So pretty much what I would need to do is on render, update the list of current transformation results. But it's not on an init. This needs to happen in real time. So I can do it on a init, but then I would need to update it the next time a change is made. So remember, this is the UI that looks like this. And so on input, I need to update all of the results for the entire chain. So this is like if I have multiple items and I make a change to one of them, I need all of them to update. So that's where that needs to be like, apply it at the first step. Now apply the first 2 steps to get the result. Now apply all the steps to get the final result. So maybe on the app bind field after. No. Again, I'm not in any way refuting that there is a better way to do this, and I am willing on top of that to do it the better way right now even. So I appreciate you pointing it out. I glance over this because I haven't touched it for such a long time. But it is a good idea. So let's say that I hold a private, what will we make it? Do we just want to make it a list? Oh, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. There are things that are general enough that they'll apply to any code base. And this is one of those things where it's like using dot result on an asynchronous method. Are you sure you want to do that? So yeah, we'll do it here. I think we'll make it an array just to make it as small as possible. So what is this going to be? This is going to be the array of transformation result. Transformation result array nullable cur transformation results. And on rule updated, we're going to update our transformation results, repopulate. Wait, why is this called repopulate transformation results? So what? Oh. Oh no, you're okay. You're okay. I'm reading through this to try to find out if there's maybe more to it than I was initially thinking. So there is the apply transformations through, but this takes two parameters. The first parameter is, oh wait, why aren't you using both parameters? Where's repopulate? You're using it too, so that wouldn't be a good idea. I would have to do it after. Okay, here's gonna be some riffing. So we'll make this async just so that I can make this await real quick, because this has to happen first. Then the next thing to do is, if we have value transformations, .count, or yeah, .count is greater than 0. Then we're going to, oh, all right. And then we're going to clear, oh man, so many things. If I clear this, if I set this to null, then the UI is already rendered and it will be using this. So I need to either verify yeah, goodness. I need to verify that cur transformation results is not null while this is being rendered. And that's all that I can think of. Oh gosh. Okay, let me write this as a task because it really is something that should be revisited and done in a better way. it is rarely a good idea to use .result, to my knowledge, in my experience. In field transformation configuration component, core library, refactor the dot result logic. That's going to require a little bit more thinking. I went that approach because I needed to make sure that we had the actual transformation result here by the time we were trying to supply it to this configurator. Okay, anyway, we have a title now on the add and remove buttons here. There is probably an add button in the field mapper that doesn't have a tooltip. So the edit doesn't have a tooltip. Why did you lose your style? Because I undid. Oh my goodness, this kid, he's killing me. Jeppers. At least I remember this one. This was one level too low. You go up here. And now you get pushed up. Thank you. All right, so the add button needs a tooltip. The remove button needs a tooltip. The other thing that I didn't write down yet is the ability to reorder the source fields. Reorder source fields in field mapper editor. Ability to reorder rules. Hello, Deflux, in value in field transformation. Field transformation configuration. And Napalm is here. Hello, Napalm. How are you doing? How are you doing? Okay. So some tooltips. Oh, right. Here's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to stage these CSS changes. And I am going to squash these two because they are part of the same. Oh, the usual Monday cursing. You? Not the usual Monday cursing. I'm feeling rather productive. It was a very slow start to my day, though. My brain was taking a bit to engage and get going. And then I made myself feel a little bit awkward earlier, but I am pretty much past that now. So now, oh, and then the sneezes happened. And then the sneezes happened, and then I felt a really, really strong pressure in my head, like it was gonna pop. And then that went away finally. And now I just feel good. Which is not to say you're not allowed to have the Monday cursing. Okay, tooltip in field mapper editor. Field mapper editor, base. Or add, where are you still? In the way. Okay. Title. Are you going to use my previous thing that I just did to help me? Yes. Yes, so lazy. So lazy. Speaking of, Being lazy. I think you responded, Deflex, if I'm correct. To no, it was Dukasoft that responded to Broken Sword's question in code help Blazer. Blazer chat. Yeah, it was Dukasoft. So for anyone that has the time and the knowledge, Broken Sword is running into an issue with his routes. He's using IIS for his deployed app. He has a virtual directory inside of his apps directory, and he's trying to get all of his routes to be base/myforms, or my app/myforms. Which actually it would just be /myforms. But anyway, so he has updated his base to that, but he's having issues with loading CSS at that point because now it's looking for CSS in /myforms/_content, which is not going to work because _content will always be at the root, or I think that's what's going on. So anyway, if any of you have experience with that, have knowledge about it, please feel free to give him a response. It's in the Blazer chat channel, the actual text channel, not a forum. I'm trying to phase out the chat channels, but also giving you the opportunity to use whichever one you live in. So anyway, Deflex just started his new job. Awesome. Napalm is trying to reverse engineer how Microsoft sends storage created events from Blob via Event Grid, and it's not going well. The object had a not implemented exception where JSON serialization should happen. I would say it's in some internal Azure library somewhere and not available to me. Therefore, write your own custom serializer would be my guess for how to get around that, if you haven't already thought of that. And then Deflex is, you can't? Interesting. Deflex says, and the first project is kind of big. They want me to build out a single sign-on. This is such an overloaded flippin' acronym. Anyway, a single sign-on on-prem for all their stuff, basically. Well, I hope you have fun with it. I'm planning on adding single sign-on to these apps, and I started looking into it, but then I got pulled into this. Oops. Okay, so those two get tooltips. There's no way to plug it into the libraries that use it. Okay. Yeah, because the only way that I would know where to configure it would be in the middleware when setting up. Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, I thought that there were global settings that you can do in program.cs for the application that's using the libraries to configure system.text.json. And Deflex is like, so I'm like, there is Azure AD with all the bells and whistles. I'm essentially trying to make a poor man's Azure event grid, says Napalm, for you don't have to add me. That does stuff to my stomach. I'm essentially trying to make a poor man's Azure event grid emulator for Aspire to use in local development. I'm going to stop reading chat for a while. Here we go. timeout button, timeout, timeout, ban. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to time you out for that. I wouldn't do that. Or would I? But yeah, so Deflex is saying...
I got a bad feeling about this.
Deflex is saying, you're the one that showed me the system.text.json options. Yeah, I thought so. I know that there's one when you're configuring MVC and controllers. But I was sure that there's one for globally specifying the system.text.json options. Even Newtonsoft as well, but I doubt that the internal Microsoft libraries are using it. It's a worker process, but worker processes still have program.cs, right? They're essentially just console apps. I mean, everything is a console app. Program.cs, system.text.json, global configuration. We don't care about MVC. Yeah, something like this. Program.cs. Nope. That's not it. That's MVC. Ah, no JSON serializer options does not expose the default options. If you're using a particular web framework, there may be a specific deserialization. Otherwise, I suggest creating your own convenience methods. Yeah. So it kind of looks like no. I think you are correct in indicating that you are stuck where you are, at least as of 2019. Still 2019. Let's just see if this has been resolved. It's been locked. 2022. Yeah, it kind of looks like the only real way to do it is if you had a web app. That's dumb. And it would be specifically for the HTTP requests. Okay, problem is, wait, I missed another one. It's reading Azurite logs from a container and trying to publish events that meet the storage event created spec for cloud events that Microsoft uses in Event Grid. Problem is it uses a mixture of binary data and JSON with base 64 thrown in, and figuring out which is what is the headache. Definitely understand. Yeah, it's just dumb that they would have a not implemented exception and not give you an easy way to overwrite the method that it's trying to use that wasn't implemented. Okay. Edit. I forgot edit. Edit. Here it is. Okay, who is not a fan of multi-line attributes on a HTML element? Man, sorry about my throat. Napalm says, binary data does something with the object type too, so I can't just create a similar object with the same properties. It's so frustrating. Yeah, I have no idea how BSON works. Okay, there we go. Probably well, let me do a mini commit for this, and then we're gonna probably add an info icon for the rule detail field set, so that we have a little bit more information on use the curly brace syntax for placeholders. Added tooltips or add, edit, remove. Maybe I could write an interceptor. Actually, that's not a terrible idea. What do you need to know in order to write an interceptor, though? Don't you need the actual line number of the method that you are intercepting? The file name and the line number or something? You have that. You have that. Awesome. I mean, to me, it sounds like fun, frustrating, but fun to learn about. It's not a path that I would take. I don't think I would go down the path that you're going down anyway. But it does sound fun. Hello, McNets. Double waves to you. Oh yeah, I was gonna do that, huh? I need to make my desk a little bit more organized again. There's wires everywhere. I have a MIDI controller up here with a whole bunch of wires coming out of it. My whatever this is called. I'll call it a hairdryer, but it's the blower to get the dust and stuff out of keyboards and mice. I think you should add more wires. Seriously. It's not where it should be. Just, it feels cluttered. I shouldn't have looked at my desk. It feels cluttered. But yeah, I wanted to take a picture of that and see if I can do some fun stuff with it. Okay. The next thing I was thinking of doing was adding the tooltip for the combined fields field set, which is where? I could have sworn it was here. Rule detail. It is here. Okay, so this is going to be my label. I will put a span around the label text so that I can also put in here a icons.help info icon. And then we'll add some attributes. Well, it's an object, it's a new dictionary. And the attribute is going to be title. Absolutely. However, the rule detail is an interpolation string using the placeholder $0 to the source fields in order added. Okay, does this make sense? Interesting. Do we not get the tooltip? Duh, I don't need the tooltip on the icon. I need the tooltip on the label itself. Oops. Cool. All right, what do you say now? The rule details an interpolation string using the placeholders $0, to indicate source fields. Yes. Okay, good enough. So we're going to call this done. Added help text to combine fields configuration. Commit and push. So I am going to call this work item done. We're going to go ahead and do a PR and the entire build and release process. Hop over button. I do have that as a separate work item, don't I? Yes, I do, because that's the data import, the lab data import library, not just this core library. So yes, we're good. We're fine. Cool. So we're going with it. Right. I need to mark these as active when I start working on them. I put this in the lab data import. Let's hope that I don't have it in both. Yeah, that really belonged here. I wonder if there's a way to move work items from one project to another in Azure DevOps. You can move tasks within the same organization by selecting the task and move. Okay. Move. Ha. Nice. Keep current types. Very nice. That's cool. I'm happy with that. You have mail. I learned a thing. Okay, we're gonna do the pull request for this work item. No, they require the file path, and this is a DLL. It could still have a file path. Is the DLL being copied to your output directory? So for example, if you go into your bin folder, I always forget which one it is. File path to the C# file. Boo. Boo. No fair. Okay. We're going back to this one here. I don't know why I needed to go back to the project root. Pull request. Create a pull request. Improved UI visibility of buttons. Also added tool tips. Tool chips. This is 549. Improve visibility of buttons. And create. Okay, and you are going to review this. Thank you so much for being on my team. Angry issue to Microsoft. Why this is not implemented forthcoming. True. You're looking through my changes and you're like, wait, these are just CSS. So, okay, I see. These SAS files, you guys are great. You're looking through every individual file. Thank you so much. These rules, or this SAS file only contains empty rules. That rule wasn't used, so why not delete the SAS file and related CSS and min.css? These updates are removing unused code. Wow. Wow, that's very nice. It wasn't part of the the, what is this called? It wasn't part of the branch though, of the work item. So maybe we should let them know that they need to add these changes back in and do those in a separate branch. Yes, Jamie, welcome back. Thank you for welcoming yourself back. What is this? These are renamings of stuff and adding the tooltips. Like they said, just like I always said, if you're too cool for school and you got no friends. The best introduction is always a self-introduction. Is it though? I'll believe you. Right. You left some code in there, sir. You added an unused variable and you did not remove it. Sir, can you please remove this unused field? Dear Sir Man. What type of Visual Studio is that? So this is Visual Studio. This is Azure DevOps. And this is how it looks when you do a PR in Azure DevOps. Yes. Yeah, I like it. I prefer using that over, well, I mean, it looks pretty much the same. Yes, it is using Git version control behind the scenes. So I'm using the Git plugin, the Git extension in Visual Studio. If you wanted to, you could even do your pull request in Visual Studio as well. I haven't been using that, and my early attempts at using it, I just didn't like the experience as much as doing it in the browser. You'll help me find it, right? Not that one. Aha. Oh, come on. What file is this? Field transformation configuration.cs. Either .razor.cs. And that is you. Restart affected projects. Removed unused field. Commit push. Unable to because the build is in process? What? How dare. So here's an example of, like, what I normally do is as I'm working on stuff, I do a whole bunch of mini commits locally. And then if they are all related, I'll squash them and then I'll push. But since this is just one really quick change, I'm going to commit and push. And I typically do keep all of my commit history even when doing a PR. I don't squash during the PR. I can understand why you do, but I just haven't found a need to. Okay, so we have updates. I'm viewing latest, and we're looking at, now there are no changes in that .razor.cs. It has been taken care of. I don't remember deleting. Oh, yes, I do. Here's another SCSS file with no rules, completely empty. Updated. We don't care about the changes to .css, because those are created from these .scss files. So I may as well mark those as reviewed just to get them out of the way. And what would be really nice is if I was able to do a don't check in .razor.css and .razor.min.css, because those get generated when these Sass files compile. That Sass compile happens during build. The problem is that the bundle for isolated CSS gets done before the build step for transpile SCSS to CSS. And I don't know how to change that around. I'd need to do some kind of looking. Some research is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so here's some updates so that the button stylings get applied to that level and below. And I know these things, but if I was reviewing them, I would actually test these out to make sure that there were no weird styling things that happened. This looks like it's the thing that adds the additional styling for the combined fields. And those are the only changes. Cool. Then this one got rid of some unused imports. Very good. And this one, what is this? Adding tooltips and an info icon. Tooltips, tooltips, tooltips. And this one, no actual changes. Oh, wait, no, sorry, this is an add. So I added the control style so that we could have this mix-in here. Or it's not even mix-in, it's being used directly in the main wrapper for all of the styles, because I wanted this to be universal across the components. And that is the way to style inputs, button groups, buttons, selects. I guess not really button groups, form groups. That's what I meant. It's just a reordering of some stuff. I'm actually curious to know what was failing. So I had to delete all of the content, pretty much delete the compiler config file and recreate it because it kept failing. And I'm really curious which one of these would have caused the failure. Probably when I deleted the unused SCSS files, they were still mapped in here. And I didn't remove them from here. Duh. Okay. Lessons learned. And then SCSS was just, again, adding in those global styles for the entire component. And finale. The CS proj. Dang it. I really, really don't like it when it does this. It adds this even though... Ooh, I don't need it. Oh, even though I combine them together, that's all. So I'm not even worried about that. It's going to keep doing it every time that I delete and remake the compiler config file. Crap! That's bad. So when I deleted the compiler config and remade it, I forgot to point it to www.root.app.sass.css, which is why these are here and they shouldn't be there. So let's fix that. I would write a note to myself, but you guys already got the joke. So here is sass app.css, and let's update compiler config so that it outputs to here instead. And so now we'll see this get updated, even though it's not really an update, but we'll see this get updated. And I'm going to go ahead because I am changing the CSS and it's telling me essentially that the CSS was updated. I am going to run the app again and verify that there were no style issues that came up because of that. I bet you it's running and I just need to open the browser. Yes, it is running. It just didn't automatically open the browser for me. Thanks for that. Okay, no style issues so far. What about preview? Are you good? Right, I mean, there is some stuff I should do with the table to make sure it's min width 100% or something. But right now with our use case, it's not an issue. When we do this for the open source project, then we'll want to make sure that like the header, I try to say this in a way where I don't say header row because people are like, are you saying header row? Does it matter? The first row, the row headers, I tend to make those a fixed height as well as white space no wrap. White space no. I always do it backwards. White space is the thing that has the dash. No wrap is one word. So white space no wrap for one of the header, one of the row headers. No, all of the row headers. TRCH. White space no wrap. And that way I have a predictable height. I have a predictable height for this novel. I have a predictable height for my header row as well as this row. So what we will end up doing is adjusting the heights so that they match so that these rows are going to scroll 1 to 1. So that's going to be a separate work item anyway. Set data table and preview table to have predictable header and body row heights. Okay, so we'll do that in a separate work item. I need to log those though, but we'll do that after we're done with this pull request. Okay, so if we get the latest after said developer commits, okay, and back here, get latest. We check the compiler config that we were on. Right, no change to it anymore, so it's gone. And then I could have updated the CS proj again, but it's going to happen every single time we delete and recreate the compiler config, which may happen again in the future. So why not just leave it as is? And this one doesn't really have any changes. So I don't know why you're in here. Whatever. Okay, so we approve it. We've reviewed all the files. Mark it as completed. Normally, if I'm reviewing someone else's, I would leave them to complete the work item and delete the branch themselves. Since it was me that worked on it, I know that we're done with the work item. I know that I want the branch to be deleted after we're done. So I'm just doing it all in one go. So it says completed. What should happen now is that the build pipeline kicks off. It did. When the build pipeline is successful, then we'll have a release that will kick off as well to give us a new NuGet package. I'm no longer auto versioning the NuGet package. I have to manually bump the version number now. I was really not liking the version pattern that was happening. So here, oh no, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cancel the build if I'm fast enough. And I am gonna make a change directly to main, but if I was working in a team, yes. Let's take a look at that if you want. If you have suggestions for it, I will take them. I'll show you what I had for the rule before for how to do the version and the version that I would like it to look like. Solution items. Okay, so the way that I had it before was I would have a default version with a major, a variable for major, a variable for minor, and a variable for, what is this called? Build. And if those were not present, then they would have default values. If they were present, use the values that are given for those variables. Thank you so much for the follow. Really, really appreciate you. I don't show names of who followed in case you're just following and you want to stay anonymous and lurky. Otherwise, feel free to chat. Thank you so much. But yeah, this is the pattern that I would like to use. And I would like to increment based on the build number. The problem is that when I was using the build number itself, I was getting 4-digit numbers, and yeah, I don't know, I didn't like it. What I want is the release number instead, but we don't have a release until the build finishes, and that's when the build number gets assigned, I think. But I mean, there might be a way to do it. I just don't know what it is. Version number. Oh, did I actually do a poll to get latest? I didn't. Ooh, that would have been bad. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and commit and push the version number bump, but we will still look at the build. So the version number gets assigned in the build pipeline, not the release pipeline, because the build pipeline is the one that's generating my .new package files. And I still want to, it is called .new package, right? I still want to get rid of all of the files that I don't need in here. So here's one, new package. You can see where it's making the file name .version number .new package. And this is what tells the artifacts what the actual version number is. And I don't know if that's how it works on NuGet, but I believe that's how it works here. We're downloading it. Thank you again for another follow. Really appreciate you. Ooh, interesting. As I mentioned to the other person that followed, I have I don't show the names of the followers on screen in case you just wanted to follow quietly and hang out in the background without getting a spotlight put on you. You're very, very welcome here if you're a lurker. You're very welcome here if you prefer to chat. But yes, in the pipeline itself, I think I still have it configured in the pipeline too. But this is where I have the build number. Oh, I don't anymore. This is where I had specified the build number using the syntax for getting me the actual build number, so that it would create the build version to add to it, and then I would just control the major version myself. Yeah. But what I would prefer to do is have the build number assigned during the release and have it be matched up with the release number. Why are you taking so long to build? .NET Restore was taking that long? No. Use .NET Core SDK. So downloading the .NET Core SDK took a minute and a half. Okay. .NET built. I really don't get why it keeps giving me this when I'm telling it explicitly to use .NET Core 8. Or just .NET 8. You know what I mean. It's really annoying. It's like, just so you know, .NET Core SDK runtime 2.2 and 3 are at the end of life and they have been removed. Okay. Wait. Wait, what? That doesn't make sense because I know that it's using .NET 8 to build. Is this maybe just the version of the template? Yeah, this is the version of the task version, not the version of .NET that it's using for the build. So weird. But yeah, what I could do, I guess, is during the release, I could have a step in here that renames the file that's currently in artifacts in the staging directory. So when a build completes, it creates all of these artifacts that get output to the staging directory, and that's where release goes to look for all of the .new package files and moves them to the artifacts feed. And the other thing that happened, by the way, when I did the build and had explicitly set the, this is probably the major thing, when I had explicitly set the build version, where am I going? Edit. Edit. When I set the build here, the build format, and I use the build number itself as the NuGet package, version number, it didn't put the dash beta. Yeah, this is only outputting to prod, and it's because I removed the output to beta. So what I was doing was prefixing or suffixing the build, the version number with dash beta, so that when this first release happens, it's only releasing the dash beta version and not the full-on release version. And that way, if after testing the pre-release, the dash beta, it fails, I don't release a full version. I bump the version number, fix whatever's wrong, try again. But right now, this just created a new version, not dash beta. So I may as well just go ahead and approve the release. Yay! Okay, and I guess I shouldn't have closed the task because there is something that needs to happen on the library that I am using this library in, and that is that I update the NuGet package there. So I minimize this, wait for the release to fully happen, even though I don't need to because it's already updated in the feed. And I'm going to create a new branch here after making sure I'm at latest. So this is the actual lab data import service, the one that is using the core library that will be open sourced. Oh, you message me so much, Azure DevOps. Oh dear. In an unrelated topic, and if you feel like answering, no pressure. Nobody has to answer. Did anyone go out and try to see as many planets as they could on Friday evening? The parade of planets. Missed it completely. Aw. My wife and I went up to the countryside where it was as dark as it could be in the Denver metro area. And we saw a lot. We even got to see if I hadn't seen it on Nerduino's stream, I would have probably freaked out a little bit. Not much, just a little bit. But I got to see the Starlink satellites flying over. It's pretty impressive just how much activity is in our night sky nowadays. Okay. New branch. Update. Core like NuGet. So yes, I am a solo developer, but I'm still doing this in a branch. I could do this directly to main, just like I did with the version bump. However, I'm still trying to keep good practices, trying to do things in branches, and using PRs and stuff. So yeah. It's what I'm doing, okay? So I need to update the NuGet package for our library that we just did. But yeah, we got to see, like, we don't have a telescope or anything. It would have been nice if we had a telescope, but we got to see Jupiter, Uranus, Mars, Saturn? No, Saturn wasn't one of them. Mercury. And one other one. I think there was supposed to be 7 in the sky. Anyway, we just located them using a stargazing app. That was really cool to see. I enjoy things like that. Okay, so we can see that we have version 2.0.1, 2.0.1, not 2.0.1, not 2.0.1, not 2.0.1, 2.0.1. So I'm gonna update those. I'm gonna run the app, make sure nothing broke, make sure we have all of our new styling, and it doesn't conflict with any of our existing styling that we might need to overwrite. So I would like to say updated NuGet ref local commit. Then I would like to delete and rebuild. You already saw me do this once today, but I'm doing it again. Bin or obj. So I'm just manually deleting the bin and obj files to make sure that there is no leftover CSS files and stuff that are going to stay cached, at least in the build directory. Okay, it already recreated the .obj files for all of them. And you should be asking me to restore soon. Why not? Weird. Weird, man. Just weird. Okay, did we build? It looks like we built. And it's telling me there was a, oh no. I was like, what is this? It was our local commit. Special kid. Local commit. Kid is so local. It's running. And bam. We're gonna do bam. Okay, so far no UI issues. The drag and drop location looks fine. And when we hover over it with the file, it does what it's supposed to do. It doesn't get stuck. Drop, that worked. Preview still looks good. They're matched 1-to-1. Styling looks fine. All of our components and elements are lined up as they should be. Same here. These buttons are bigger like we told them to be. We didn't break any of this UI. And what's the other UI? The map UI. Good. We're good. Everything is good. So I approve of this message. We're going to push. We're going to do another PR. And I'm going to try the PR in Visual Studio again, since it's been a while since I have tried it. So updated NuGet ref is what we did. Can you squish down just a little so I could see more? This is going to be associated with 549. 549. And great. Okay, so now we're going to review the pull request. It still takes you to the web to do the review. So you can't review it in Visual Studio? Huh. Okay, I thought you could do the whole process in Visual Studio. That's fine. I prefer the browser anyway. I'm not angry at it. And even though we put ref 549, it didn't create the reference. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to approve, complete. As mentioned before, I would allow the developer that did the PR to delete their own branch. But since I know that I'm done with it and the work item is already completed, I'm going to leave complete unchecked and delete branch on. That is going to kick off a build and release. This one has a build and release of the actual web application. So it's going to release the test web app immediately and then wait for me to approve the release of the production version. And this is the library itself. This is the web app. This is if I'm going to use this library in another application. Let's say it's not going to be a standalone app in the future. Maybe we move all of our apps to EBS and less apps means less cost or something. I don't know. Then I would use this library in whatever other application like RTrack, for example, which we're getting close to being able to go back to the other applications. I'm so excited. So excited. Ooh, speaking of so excited. No. Just kidding. Just kidding, boy. Okay, moving on. So I am going to sit here and watch paint dry. I don't know what it is about builds that makes you just want to sit and watch them work. At least it makes me want to sit and watch them work. What I'm going to do instead, I'm going to try to look for our next work item. Boards. We are boards. You and you're done. Okay, we're gonna do this one. Make the template pop over, stay showing when the button is clicked in the dockable toolbar. This is something that I want to do in the Blazor component library for popover buttons, but then again, I would want the option to not have it behave that way. But in this case, it makes sense for us to be able to click the button and have the template popover stay showing. And what I mean by that, thank you again for more follows. Oh my goodness, you guys are so kind. Thank you. So this is the template list, the list of templates that are applicable to the file that is being converted, that this tool is being used on. The thing that could happen is the user might keep going across when they try to move the mouse down for whatever reason. Maybe it's just the way their desk is, maybe it's they have some kind of visual impairment that prevents them from being able to see that this is the direction they're trying to go, some kind of motor skills impairment. So what I would like to have happen is something that Dukasoft suggested, which is when you click on this button, have the user import templates stay open unless and until you select one or click off somewhere else. So we're going to implement that next. I went back to the build. Why did he go back to the build? It's going to be a while before that thing finishes. It needs to build both projects. I only have one agent since I'm using Azure DevOps free tier. Okay, so let's create the branch for this. It's going to be in the lab data import service. So let's pull latest main. Since we just did a PR, let's delete the local version of the branch that is no longer in existence. And was there anything that we needed to do in here? You went back to latest main, right? When we did the version update? Yes. Okay, so we don't actually need that. I am going to close it, free up some mental space. And instead of doing this in the core library for reasons that I just decided, we are going to do it here, which means that we're going to do some CSS magic to make the upload template, user import templates popover stay open. Normally, you might want to do some kind of changes to the core component itself for the popover button. However, however what? However, I'm just going to do it in here without access to the component itself for the dockable toolbar. And that makes this a data import toolbar. And I'm going to do it just using CSS because I think I can do this. I'm going to be completely wrong, but I think I can do this. So the toolbar popover button is going to be this element here. And I guess we've had quite a few new followers. So just to introduce myself real quick, I'm One Lion. I'm a software developer working on real world client projects. I'm maintaining a whole bunch of web applications for my client, which is the Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. And in fact, it's the prime contractor for the Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge, the operations and management or environmental ERSC. What? In environmental industry. What is ERSC? The Environment and Resources Standards Committee. That doesn't seem right. Okay, it's probably specific to our site. But anyway, I'm working for the ERSC that is at the Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. The thing that happened here, it used to be an army arsenal that manufactured chemical weapons. They disposed of those weapons by burying, or they didn't use them for the war, broke them apart into their core components and their volatile components and their non-volatile components. They safely got rid of the non-volatile components and buried the volatile components, thinking that was the right way to deal with them. Put them in a big container, bury them underground. Those leaked. They caused environmental hazards. The Rocky Mountain Arsenal became a Superfund site. The EPA was established. They said, you guys need to clean this stuff up. And so they went through this massive effort to clean up the environment. Yay, build succeeded, which they were successful at. So the environment is very clean now. And what they have are a whole bunch of water treatment facilities, wells, and processes and procedures in place to make sure that we are meeting and exceeding EPA standards for how much volatile chemical is in the soil, in the water, in the air. And it's gotten so good that they converted it over to a national wildlife refuge that invites visitors to come and see buffalo, a million types of deer, a million types of birds, especially burrowing owls, some rare species of ferrets, like the black-footed ferret, for example. And it's a really cool place to go if you just want to have a short, it's not really that short, but a nice quiet drive around a loop that takes you through some plains and scenery for looking at birds of prey. They have the Eagle Repository there. They have the place where all of the confiscated paraphernalia go for, what's the word I'm looking for? Poaching, illegal poaching. All of the stuff that is confiscated when it comes into our borders goes to, one of the places it goes to is the Rocky Mountain Arsenal's Eagle Repository. And yeah, it's a really, really interesting visit. If you ever are in the Denver area, I can recommend going to the Rocky Mountain National Wildlife Refuge. Stop by the Visitors Center, see if they're giving a tour on their on the repository and when. Okay, so that's what I'm working on. This is one of the applications. This one is used for when we send samples to a lab, soil, water, or air samples. The lab sends us back results, and those results come in the form of a CSV or Excel workbook. Different labs give us different fields, but they all essentially mean the same thing. That we just need to map them from what they give us to what our database is expecting. And the reason I say to what our database is expecting is because we used to only use one lab, or not even one lab. We used to use one file format, which was a text file, fixed width, expected characters, and everyone used that. And now we've gone away from that. We only have one lab that is using that process. And there's a system in place already that does records checks on the results that were given to make sure that they are in line with what we're expecting and make sure that nothing's missing, because then they will eventually get uploaded to our environmental database so that we can generate reports and compliance reports and such. Wow. Struggling. Used to use one lab. One lab, which is also pronounced one lab, which is also pronounced 11 lab, which is funny. It's very funny. So anyway, this is a pretty new app. I would call this one a greenfield app because I could do whatever I wanted to set it up. I'm not a great designer, as you can tell, but it does the job that it needs to do, which a lot of developers will say. They are more into the writing the functionality portion of the code, and the UI is kind of like, if it gets the job done, if people can use it, cool, especially for line of business applications. Okay, so this is where we are going to, oh, I was showing the class that's in this. Oh, and there it is. Dockable toolbar popover button. Inside of this container is the button itself, as well as the pop-up menu. And notice that the pop-up menu is rendered even though it's not showing. So that's good news for us. Otherwise, I would have to go back to the original component, where if the menu isn't visible, then we don't render it. Like, that would be annoying. So what we're going to do then is we're going to write a rule for toolbar popover button has focus, and then target the pop-up menu and tell it to be visible, which is what happens when we do hover. So we're going to essentially use the same rule as hover on the button. Emulate hover. Whoa, why did you do that? Okay, so when toolbar popover menu has hover, excuse me, can you collapse, please? There aren't any specific rules on this element for hover, but there are specific rules on button. No, there aren't. I thought that button had a background, but it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Oh, but the button itself gets a hover, not div hover or toolbar popover button hover, button hover. So we're going to add the same rule as hover to the button to active on the button directly. So let's turn active on, or not active, hover. Hello, WoW Gaming. Was there a name I'm supposed to be calling you? Stream notes. I don't have any notes on calling you something other than that. So let me know if you want me to call you something different than WoW. Okay, so we'll apply the hover effect on the button when it's active, and then we'll apply the rules for dockable toolbar button hover. Wow. What? But gaming is good. Cool. Or just WoW gaming. Unless you really did mean to put WoW. Wob. Wob, 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 wob. I'm not seeing the hover effect. So the thing that I'm expecting to see in one of these rules is the dockable toolbar wrapper, deep dockable toolbar wrapper, dockable toolbar container, toolbar button popover, hover. And then pop-up menu. But I'm not seeing that. Is it on the UL? I didn't think so. We might have to go to the original library and see the CSS rule for that. How have you been, WoW Gaming? Hopefully you're well. having a fantastic day. Okay. But for now, let us... No, I just wanted to collapse this one. Okay, so I'm going to put it after our basic styling for the pop-up menu that we're overwriting so that it has this background and the stars and stuff like that. And we're going to target when active the button. And this is where we get the styles for button hover. And then the pop-up menu, get the styles for the pop-up menu hover. So for now, let's just see if this works, which is display block. Okay, and then let's turn off the manual hover. But that's so weird. I could have sworn that we would have seen the rules, the extra rules for what happens when you hover. When you turn, yeah, okay. So we can at least do this one. So here's button hover. Okay, and so active, by the way, just means that it pretty much has the cursor. Wait, is active what I'm really looking for? Yes, active is what I'm looking for, but it's not the div that's active. It is the button that's active. So has is what I'm really looking for. And has, and is it really active? Yes, it is, because it's not hover. It could be focus. It could be focus. Is that what I'm thinking of? So if any element inside of it has the focus pseudo selector, then I want it to be expanded. Yes. Yes. Oh, I already pasted that. Okay, and then the pop-up menu. Yes, good. Okay, so let's see if this works. Let's remove our settings. And this should work when we click on it. So the button should have the focus. Focus within. Aha. Not has focus. I know my CSS rules. Okay. So there's hover, and then I click on it. Dang it. How are you still not getting focus within? So if we put focus on the button, then focus within should get applied to dockable toolbar. Why not? Toolbar, let's change the background to something like pinku. We get focus within. And just to be safe, you know what? It's entirely possible I'm not running the app and we aren't looking at... Oops. My bag. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a minute. So we're gonna go for another hour and change. Get as many of these small quirk fixes as we can, but the application is pretty much done. I've told the client that the application is usable and to send me any questions and stuff that they have. Something else that we're going to do is document the application and provide a user guide. That's going to be so much fun. Okay. So let's pick a file. Good. Okay. There we go. So yes, it was working the whole time. Oh man. Get rid of this. All right, so I think our functionality is done. All I did was set it so that when focus is within the div, we target the pop-up and we tell it to stay showing. When I click outside of it, focus moves outside of that button, outside of that div, so it collapses itself. When I choose an item, then this gets the focus or something else gets the focus, and it's not an element that is within the div, within the wrapper. So we're done. We did it. Congratulations us. Make sure everything is saved. We set toolbar popover to stay open and focus within. Commit, push. When I set this thing to do the next, oh, speaking of, the current pipeline should be done. This one is the lab data import service. So if we go to the pipelines, why are you still running? Are you sure you're still running? I didn't do that in a branch. This is why I should lock down main. Oh my goodness. Why did nobody tell me? Dang it. What to do, what to do. I guess we'll just run with it. Man, that was not smart. But point is, we still have a release that's pending because the previous commit that we did with the PR. So I'm gonna let it release to production. No one is using it in production at the moment. At least they haven't told me that they started using it in production, because there's still some information that they need to work out, like what truly is the relationship between the file that we're given and the lot number, for example. So they think they know what it is. They think that it is this analysis batch. But they're going to double check with other files that they've had to make sure. That means that they aren't going to be uploading any real data to production yet, but they should be able to use test all they want. That was so dumb. Man. Okay, well, I'm gonna manually tell our work item. We're going to associate this work item with that commit. Set it as closed. We don't have any branches to delete. Goodness. Okay, while this is building, I'm going to take a really quick break, refill one of my water bottles, and I'll be right back, and we'll do another hour of this. build is finished. Tyndall! Hello, Tyndall! Greetings, my excellent friends. I took the most nappiest power nap ever. It was pure power. Awesome. Ooh. Desktop. Ooh, President Usher says, excellent. Speaking of, welcome back, President Usher. How was your walk? And thank you so much, Dukesoff, for the shout out to Tyndall. I would have gotten there. I would have remembered. We're watching paint dry currently. This one is pending. Didn't I approve you already? I didn't. So we can't release the next one unless we approve / decline. Oh, it was good, says President. Awesome. Well, I'm feeling great. So if you actually were sending any energy to me, either I word that means that I made it happen myself because I believed it would happen. I can't think of what it's called. Or because you actually were sending me some of your walking energy. Wow, the word is completely gone out of my vocabulary. Placebo. Oh my gosh. So either I placeboed myself or you actually did send me some energy. And either way it worked. So it doesn't matter. Thendall says, how are you, friends? Well, I'm doing fine. If you're still calling me friend, let's hope you do. I don't want to lose that. Oh, we're doing great though. We're doing fantastic. We're kicking some names, taking some butt. And we've already done 2 work items. We're looking for more work items to clean up, but I am waiting for the pipeline this time because last time I did the change on main branch and Frank is here. F. Boucher, F. Boucheros, F. Oh. Shout out. Do we have time to do it? F. Boucher. Folks. Yes. Awesome. Welcome in. Did you know, because I don't know until the doctor told me, but did you know that the opposite of placebo is called nocebo? It's when you expect something to work and it doesn't, even though it should. I mean, you have so much control over the efficacy of what it is that you are doing that I didn't know I had a word though. Thank you for telling us. Or when you expect to get a side effect and you get that. Ooh, that's even worse. But there is scientific evidence that proves that you can affect yourself to a cellular level. Even further down than cellular level. It's just really hard to say. And so even if the only thing you are experiencing is a placebo effect, it's effective. And it is really happening to you. Looks harder in English if you ask me. Cellular. Placebo is trippy. Trippy. Okay. We are completely built, completely released. Let's just do a quick run through on test to make sure that all of the functionality still works and I didn't break anything. The only thing we did was changed UI behavior. So we updated some styles and made it so that when you click on this, it stays open until you click away or choose a template. And it's for that reason there, which is sometimes it's, you know how annoying this can be. You have a popover menu and you're trying to get to something and it just disappears when you're trying to select that something because you're 1 pixel off. So we made it to where you can click. Oh man, each of the 2-eyed pie, welcome in. All of the amazing peoples are here. And thank you so much for the follow. Again, I do not show the names of who followed. Oh man. Thank you so much for the follow. I don't show the names of who followed. That way you don't get called out into the spotlight if you don't want to be. But if you do want to be recognized, you're more than welcome to say you're welcome or anything like that. But otherwise, I won't call you out. Nothing like that. So catching up in chat, TBD Gamer was greeting Frank. And each of the 2-eyed pie said, I was today's years old when I learned this. Yeah, exactly. Thindle then said, like, here are sugar pills and you feel better. Dang. Thindle, I will call you out because I was following, so now I double follow. I'm like sugar pills and you feel better, even though you really shouldn't feel better without the actual meds. But you should be able to feel better without medication. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't take pills, don't see doctors. They have purposes, they work. Practical medicine is real. It's just as real. Hey, no call outs unless you're trying to be, you know, facetious. I don't know if that's the right word for this situation. But anyway, it's been long-standing in human history that we've been able to do a lot of self-healing without medication. But medication does also work. It works for our brains to perceive that we are doing something in effort to improve our health, to heal a thing, and that is truly what makes the medication work, as well as physiological effects on the body, on your chemistry, on your biology. Yes, that's all a thing too, but you can also make the same effects. That's all I'm trying to say. Okay. Not sure what use you'll ever have of acknowledging this. Well, I mean, I talk about the SIBO all the time, so maybe I can contrast it against no SIBO on occasion. And it's probably pronounced like notable or something weird. Anyway, what else do I need to check? I need to check that the mapping itself works. We're picking the analysis batch. We have an analysis batch already assigned to this lot number, so it recovered it. Very cool. Mapping that. I'm going to go ahead and load an existing one that is fully mapped. Verify that it is good to go. And upload. Upload works successfully. We're assuming it works successfully, otherwise it would give us an error. Saving a template over itself. Don't know in English, but Doc said it like placebo, so no SIBO, placebo, plus. Changing file was a thing that I recently fixed where it wasn't actually updating the display of the data. It did update what data was stored in memory, but it didn't update the display of data. And so this is a different number than the one that we were just looking at. Preview still works. We apply the preview with the preview open. All the things are working. Try and upload without, yeah, this is still an error. I know about this one. We have a workaround for it and it is logged as something to fix. but we'll figure out what we're doing next. But it's not repopulating our lot unless we go into here. Right. And now all of them should say TBD. And then if we try to upload, then it will reserve lot numbers, except there was an error still. How is that possible? So it didn't reserve the lot numbers, even though it said it was successful. So that'll still be something that we fix, because there is reserved lot number here, which will give us a new lot number, and that will work just fine when we're mapping it. Oh dear. unless it freezes, in which case the stream will freeze too. Same intonation, different mouth breathery voice box vibrations. Ooh. Oh no, oh my gosh. That sounds scary to me. I will note it, but it sounds scary to me. I know I may come off as pretty confident or socially capable, but it's all fake. I am very I don't really want to be in the public eye, but I want to communicate with other .NET developers, and in a way that I kind of get to dictate. Oh, so that's why I started streaming. One of the reasons. I know that feeling all too well. I'm glad you can understand. But still, I mean, I will consider it. I will consider it. Okay. What was the weirdness that just happened? The app crashed because memory. So I think I'm having memory leaks. I'm not 100% sure how to fully research what's going on, but it typically happens when I start one file, apply the template, load another file, apply a template, look at preview. Well, why didn't you apply the template? Yeah, and so there we go. And you can see that it's starting to lag a bit already. Why aren't these templates applying? Yeah, there. And now I'm frozen. And there's nothing in console. Darun is here. Hello, Darun. Nothing in console. Everything is looking normal. No errors, no nada. And so I know that I just need to attach the debugger, inspect memory usage, all of that fun stuff. Hello, how are you? I am doing well, thanks for asking. I hope you're doing well as well. Another indication that it was memory or maybe long-running JavaScript, and I have no idea why I would be stuck in a JavaScript loop suddenly, is that I have to close the tab twice. Like the first close stops all of the JavaScript processes, and then the second close actually closes the tab. So I don't know, but that is going to be an issue. I need to figure it out, but that's a different work item. Right now I just ran through the gambit of the core functionality. Everything is working the way that it's supposed to. The user will still be able to upload it. They only upload one file at a time currently, so I have some time to consider that and figure out how to correct it. Okay, that said, we need our next work item. But before that, let me read Darun's message. Darren says, I'm good. I'm relearning programming via Free Code Camp, working through Java. Seen you were live, so thought, why not do both? Just don't let me get in the way of your learning. I hope you enjoy that. I used Free Code Camp when I was trying to improve my skills on HTML and CSS. Let's just say I'm still not good at design. They teach you how to do CSS, and it's like, okay, so this is all stuff that I knew. Thank you for that. However, I was hoping to learn a little bit of design as well. But yeah, that's going to have to be something else entirely. Omni Digital. Oh my gosh, all the peoples. Shout out to Omni Digital. Omni Digital is working on this crazy game that's kind of like, oh man. I wanted to keep the name of the show in mind so that the next time I saw you, on stream at least, because I'm lurking on your channel sometimes, there's the one show, I think it's a one-word title, and it's the dude that is pretty much a psychopath, but he only goes after bad people, and he's also a cop or something. Anyway, I've never actually watched it. But he's kind of... I mean... I can't really say that his game... Yeah, Dexter. Exactly. Thank you, Rollers. I can't say that the game is exactly Dexter. It's kind of just a person that likes to use other people's body parts for art. Not my cup of tea, but oh my gosh. He's so talented with his pixel sprite art, and just the game concept itself is pretty unique. So definitely check out Omni Digital if you get a chance. His streams are super fun though. Okay, where are we? Peru. We're trying to figure out what our next work item is. Okay, so indicate when the loaded file is already uploaded. And then there are two scenarios for when it's uploaded. The first scenario is when it's only uploaded to the staging table, and then the one where it's been uploaded to the RMA-ED database. Or that's kind of like redundant. RMA-ED is the RMA Environmental Database. I don't feel like tackling that right now because that involves UI, creating new UI. Add an indicator for a specific template scenario. We currently have a solid filled in star to indicate exact matches. We should also have like an outline star for when the template was not created using the current file type combination, but has all of the field mappings. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun. Allow templates to be made public. This sounds fun. That's an option. Allow templates to be deleted was another one. Allow templates to be deleted with a capital D. I don't know how I make the decision on what to capitalize and what not to capitalize. I know that's in here. SQL syntax mapping, errors when create, production, publish. Wait, create, production, publish. I think this is complete. Show the output field name in the transformation configuration window. Oh dear, let's hope that I wrote this one down. Make a determination on what to do with upload items. Save imported field set as template in the database. Oh, maybe it's in here. Change source gen to make the transformation type create new. Improve map transformation functionality. Add value transformation operation type of conditional. Oh, right. Investigate turning import library into .NET Standard 2, which we did for the open source project. So we are going to do this one. This one we just finished. So I'm going to delete that. So I have a separate, and I think someone else recommended doing this too. I have a separate notepad essentially that is just all of the things that I can think of needing to do while working on a task and that aren't necessarily part of the task that I'm currently working on. So I just throw them in a notepad and then arrange them and see if they actually should be work items or not. Populate the lookup information one. So like the one that I'm currently looking at is show the output field name in the transformation configuration window. Oh, is it possible? Oh dear. Okay. That was scary. Is it possible for a plain yellow pumpkin to become a golden carriage? Or that in this window we have no idea which field. We do have an idea which field. Show output field name. This is the input field name. Aha. I see, like musical. It's something that my wife did a lot, that she just does when you say it's possible. And so it's kind of stuck with me. I like it a lot. But is that bed knobs and broomsticks? Cinderella. It's Cinderella. I was gonna say Cinderella, but I thought it would be too typical, too predictable. And of course it was right. Okay, so that belongs in this project. Add output field name to transformation configuration. What is that spelling? Window. Dialog. The input field is showing, but the output field column just shows output value. And I guess that makes sense. This is probably something that I would need to discuss with my team, which is me. But it makes sense not to put the output field here, because this is not necessarily the final output. This could be one step in a combined fields, for example. So at this point, this is only the first half or the first rule. And then this one would be the second rule. And then the actual output is defined here. So it'd probably be best to put it up here somewhere. Figure value output for matrix or for file name. Oh, please don't sneeze again. No, we're good. We're good. Thank you, Nose. I love you. Darun is saying, one-man band. You must schedule in a team meeting. Oh, we have meetings all the time, almost 24/7. It's so annoying. We have to discuss every little change. Okay, but the output, which might be correct. How do I put this? The input field is showing in the value transformation preview. Consider putting the target field name in the title of the configuration dialog. And Snobble is greeting Thindo. Save. Okay. Not active. I just wanted to assign myself. We're not doing that one yet, I don't think. Let me put logged for that one. Tell the UI to display. Oh my gosh, this one is kind of annoying. So the way that we can, the way that we built the library, the core library, is such that when you do an import, okay, when you do an import, the tool that you use will generate a data set. That data set will have 0 or more data tables with the data table with the information from the imported file. The one that we're using by default is Excel Data Reader. And when we get the data set with the data table, we get also the inferred column type. So if all of the values in that column are dates or date times, then we will get a date time for that data table's column type. That means that when we output the value, we are outputting whatever the data type's default toString is. The user was like, well, we need those dates to be in year-month-day format when it gets uploaded into the database. And I'm like, technically yes, technically no, because the actual place that it's going first is this one. So this table here has date time fields, small date time fields, date only fields. So here's an example sample date, regular date time, which I totally thought it was date time too, but it's just regular date time. Preparation date. Where was the weird one? Small date time for submit date and date created. And there's one more. Anyway, you get the point. So in the database that it's getting uploaded to first, we are getting actual date objects or date data types. In the final resting place of these files, then we see that every single field, every field is varchar, except for box received, or the ID, the unique ID for this record, or whatever these are. But everything else, varchars, even sample prep date, sample date, year, month, day. So point is that because this application only dumps to that imported TRN table, then we're okay with having them be the data type that they are, because we're mapping to that specific data type. However, if the user really does want this to be in year, month, day format, that's going to be a thing. I'm going to need to be able to tell this thing what format to display dates as, especially date time fields, or maybe even a given column, when this thing is automatically just going through and saying, for this data table, what are all of the columns, output whatever the value is toString. which is not great. So I don't know if this is really something that I want to try to tackle. Where did I even see that? Oh, right here. Okay. Should I log it though? It is a customer request. I can think of some ways to do this. It's not really a task though, is it? Like a lot of these things, now that I'm looking at them. No, those are tasks. Those are improvements. Improvements. Okay, so this one is definitely a feature though. Add ability to display, to format columns. Format the display of column values. So I could see this as something that you would want to do if you were to use this library, because this would be part of the core library. Instead of wanting to recreate the entire data table component, you would just want to specify, here are my column templates and how I want them to display. Snubble is asking, what does the scoped parameter modifier do? I didn't know that there was a scoped parameter modifier. In Blazor, specifically? Like if I were down here and I did parameter, are you saying that there's a scoped parameter? Because otherwise I've never heard of scoped parameter. But you said modifier. So a modifier would be something that appears here. Oh, parameter on a method. Okay. Let's read. We're sure it's a thing. Scopes can be used for refs and ref struct values only. Okay. So private struct also hold. Okay, so there we go. But I'm not getting any IntelliSense on scoped itself. So I don't know. Don't know. So not something that I was purposefully listening for, nor did I come across it before, but it's interesting. Like my guess is that once the method itself is done, then you release the variable. So you're using a struct or value type as a reference type and holding it for the duration of the method call only. That's just my guess, my intuitive guess. But I'd have to look it up. Oh my gosh. Format the output. I was thinking of too many things at once. Okay, so that is now logged. All right, populate the lot lookup information when loading a template is a bug. Save import a field, allow templates, add indicator, template, bug. Lot lookup information is not populating when loading a template. Repro steps. Select a file that has a saved user import template. That also has had the lot configured, lot reference configured, and has had a lot number reserved for the lot configuration, lot reference configuration. Okay, then for opening the field mapper, show the preview. Expected. The lot numbers are populated with the reserved lot number. Actual. The lot numbers are populated with the selected field plus transformations used for lot number reference. Okay, that's fun. I think that's going to be the one that we do next. It sounds most fun to me. It's what is giving me the most joy to want to track down. The other thing that happened that we just saw with the lot, which is going to be another bug, separate issue, was when we tried to upload a file without first reserving the lots, we have encountered an error. So uploading while lot values have TBD fails. Steps to reproduce. Select a file and configure the lot reference as TBD. You rang? I thought you said you were used to this. I'm kidding. I just wanted to give you another shout out, that's all. Again, check out TBD streams. Tomorrow he'll be working on, provided things don't come up, of course. Tomorrow he'll be working on his core project, Liquid Sky, which now I remember is just Liquid. Awesome. Thank you, DucaBot. You're the best. Well, you're second best next to DucaSoft. But yeah. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be a really cool product. It is a project management and planning application, much like what you see what I'm using here, except geared more towards the separation of concerns. That's what I'm going to call it. And so as a developer, I only want to see stuff that have to do with development activities, and this application would give me that ability, or give me that situation, essentially. Okay, so that's what we do first. Second, try to, use a file that does not already have a reserved lot number. There should be at least one TBD. There should be at least one TBD. That's a phrase. Which means there can be more. The more TBDs you have, the more varied experiences you get to have. You were talking about nonsense. There can be only one. I was gonna say you can have your game devs, or game dev, your game, what are they even called? Your gaming streams, as well as your software development streams, as well as doing your regular day job. And you'd be able to do it all. Bindle is greeting Snubble back. Tried to upload. Expected. The file uploads and we get new lot numbers assigned and displayed in preview. Actual. We see both a success toast and failure toast. And what I remember just now is that the success toast showed successfully reserved lot numbers, and then it had the value arrows blank. So instead of getting an actual lot number back, it gave us blank back. And I think that's where the issue is. Oh man, which one of these is going to be more fun to do? So I'm only giving myself about 15 to 30 minutes before I end the stream. A bit later, got slightly distracted. Totally okay. Totally okay. All right, which one of these sounds more fun? I'm asking my higher self. No, not even my higher self. My higher self isn't even bothered by this. I'm asking my inner self. Lot lookup information is not populating when loading a template or uploading while lot values have TBD fails. I think we're gonna assign this one. I think we're gonna go with the lot numbers not repopulating. We'll do that one first. Oh, there's so much fun to be had. This time I'm gonna remember to create a branch too. Speaking of, are all of our pipelines done, approved? Everything is good, deployed? We are. Good. Okay, make sure we're at latest main. New branch. Bug. 553. Sounds like a TBD problem. And he's using the golden kappa. You must have gotten that from a very recent hype train that was going on. Was it a hype train? It was probably a hype train that was going on while I was half paying attention. Mm-hmm. Bug 553, lot number restoration. Yes. Did I spell that wrong? Restoratin. It's a good thing it's a local branch only. Have you ever tried to rename an upstream branch while you're working with a team? Cannot recommend. Yeah, from Big Gamey's stream. Again, fantastic individual. Wonderful, wonderful person. Okay. Yes, we are set up. We are ready to start investigating what's going on. So we need to find the step where we are restoring the template. Once we restore the template, if we have both a lab and a lot rule, we need to perform the lookup for is there a reserved lot number for the given values that we got. Yeah. My throat. I would have loved a golden smug face instead. Who knows? Is that one of the things that, like, I've never actually tried modifying a redeem or modifying an emoji. Is that one of the things that you could modify? That'd be cool. Cool. Already lurking. All right. Center myself. Okay, so we're looking for the place where we are restoring the template, and that would be in state. Space in between yourself. Which is going to be the lab data import state. Wow, that's actually the name of it. No, my chat. I've been welcomed back to the chat room. I feel so privileged. Oh. Okay. Are you really not used? Wait, what? Okay, we're going to put you up here. Pin. Close everything but pinned. Close everything but pinned. No! It didn't give me the option to close all but pinned on that one. That's annoying. Right. Yeah, so if I got rid of this and I built, then we're getting no errors. And if I delete you, who was also unused, and I build, then no errors. Unused code. Unused usings. Save. How did you open over there? Removed unused code. Oh, it's so nice doing that though. Back over here. Yeah. Must line up perfectly with the edge. Hello, Mushko. How are you? I'm trying to open this so that we can put you in this one here. Okay, load file. Yeah, and look, the new window is not even all the way to the left edge. After doing that. So one thing that I've noticed with trackballs in general, this has happened with every trackball that I've had. If I'm ever trying to move the mouse to a very precise point, it's like we can move quickly to there, get really close, and the very specific pixel that you're trying to mouse over, the mouse just skips. And it's like, I just want to, and then it skips right over it every time. Mushko is asking, are you following any specific architecture pattern? Yeah. Not on purpose, but the thing that I am doing is being consistent with the way that I structure my code. And that is just as important as knowing a pattern to follow. But I don't really take time to research patterns or to understand them. And it's primarily because I like the freedom of not having to adhere to a prescribed pattern. I know the benefits of them, and I do think that it would be more important for me to do that if I were working on a larger team. But because these are all my own products essentially, then I follow my pattern, which is relatively consistent, and it does seem to adhere to MVVM-S. Hold on. That's better. Sorry about that. But yeah, I definitely do see benefit in following established patterns, but I also, I don't know, I just, with as much work as I have, it's kind of difficult for me to be like, well, I need to employ this pattern every single time across the board, because what I do is I standardize as much as I can. For example, when I was doing the Blazor conversion to Blazor apps, I made a Blazor template that has my default, here's my Blazor WASM portion, here's my Blazor server portion, here are my shared models, shared client, shared server projects. And so I have all of those set up by default using this template. And now we have Blazor web app, so it's a lot easier and more streamlined. But that's an example of one place where I would have to have made the choice up front, use this pattern when setting up your stuff. And so I think I am doing that, but again, I didn't do it because it was named something specific that I knew about. It was just because it's how I have come to understand the way I like to organize and structure. But yeah. What about you? Do you like using patterns? If so, which ones do you use? Okay. What am I looking for? I am looking for nothing, actually. I don't even know why I launched the app. We need to be looking in code. Oh, no. I was doing it because I was making sure that removing those fields, those unused lines, didn't actually break the functionality of the code. But I'm pretty convinced it wouldn't have built otherwise. So the thing that's happening is when we load a user import template, handle template selected happens. We apply it, we load the template. When the template is loaded and we have field mappings, we do the replace field mappings. Did I? I'm just curious because this is one of my biggest typos. Did I put Tempalti anywhere in here? Impressive. I either have already corrected all of the typos for that or I didn't actually typo it. Okay, so once we replace the field mappings, we know that we have an active data table. By this point, because otherwise we would be getting a null reference exception or warning here that says you didn't null check active data table. So we know we have an active data table, which means that we should be able to construct the request to get all of the lot reference lookup values. And in order to do that, we need a few things. We need to know whether or not we have a lab and lot rule configured. Field mappings, not rules. And this will probably be in a separate method. It'll probably even be, no, it wouldn't be in here. That doesn't make sense to put it in here. But we'll put this in a separate method. If we have both lab and lot field mappings, do the request to get the lot loot. I want to type loot. The loot mappings. The lot lookups. No. Nice try. Find matching user. Not quite. Not quite. That's incorrect as well. Oh wait, no. No, this is good. This is good. Am I doing this anywhere else? Am I? Because that could have been another bug in itself. Yeah, that would have been another bug where I still have the lab and lot mapping info from a previous file and not this file or previous template even. Okay, so that's good. That's a good thing. We'll do this every time no matter what. Are you required when I create a new? All right, so if lab field mapping is not null, how do I want to do this? I want to do, if lab field mapping is null, then lab lot mapping info dot init lab field mapping. Are you async? No, you're void, but you don't take two arguments. egg. And if lot field mapping is null, we init. Yeah, I don't have a better way to do this. Like, my preference is to restrict, or not even restrict, to limit the amount of conditional statements. Yeah. And branches in conditional statements that I do use is the end of that. I got words. Okay, if we have both the lab and lot, we need to do the request to get the lookups. Easiest way for me to do this is to find our lot reference, not lot reference constants, nice try, field picker dialog, lot reference picker dialog, and do the same process that it does on load. Yeah, so here's essentially the same thing that I just wrote. So transforms, what is this? Generated mapping transform. That's what I'm going to assume that stands for. Oh, no, this is the actual map transform. Oh, Sheila. This is true. We need to do this, and then we do lookup. Okay, so what this step is doing is we're getting the existing lot oh man oh, what is an easy way to approach this? Because all of this is truly what I want to do. I really do intend to do all of this. And again, I will split this out into a method that everything has access to, but for now I'm going to do it all in line. Yeah, let me just do it here. We're going to go var. We're going to get rid of all of our underscore mapping states. You are lab fab. Field mapping dot mapping rule. Yeah, this is no. Oh my goodness. Okay, is that really how it is in here? So something I just noticed is if lab mapping rule dot source field transformations is null, initialize the lot field mapping. Wait, no, I'm reading this wrong. No, I'm not. Oh my gosh. Sounds like a bug. It does. But does that mean that you should be lot? Oh gosh. All right. I need to read through. Like, what happened was I saw the time and I'm like, I'll just get this done really quick. I'll just knock this out. So I'm starting to rush through things. But now that I saw this, I'm like, I'm just going to burn through that, fix this one small thing, get this done. But no. I have to tell myself no to that because this is incorrect. This is very incorrect. I need to read and understand what I am reading. So why are we initializing our lab mapping rule, which is the lab field mapping? This is correct. Dot mapping rule, which is non-nullable. So if that does not have source field transformations, then we initialize it. But that is incorrect. We should be looking at lot reference mapping rule, because we're already doing all the things for lab field mapping up here. And we're needing to initialize the lot reference mapping. Oh my goodness. Yep. I'm going to stop here because I need to look at this much closer. This logic is not right. This logic is very not right. Yeah, so I need to fix this. Reading is fundamental. Wait, that's the same acronym as RIF, reduction in force. That makes me sad. But yeah, I'm going to stop there. I'm going to do my time card. Yes, RIF. You as well, Tyndall. Thank you all so much for being here. I'll do my time card and give myself enough time to wrap everything up and get everything ready for the music stream, which will happen sometime later. But until then, yeah, and of course you're always welcome to come to the music stream. Hold on. Before he gets the chance. Haha. Okay, so shout out to Dukasoft. Dukasoft does stream on occasion. Whenever he has drone footage to show us, whenever he has edited an entire drone footage thing. So definitely follow him so that you can be notified when he goes live. He has great music, great vibes on his channel, and just really cool to hang out with when he shares his area, his drone cinematography with us. So definitely check him out. Right, I had the camera off on this scene. Good vibes. Heck yeah. So anyway, the One Line Creative channel is available or not available, but if you're into music creation, especially and okay with seeing someone struggle through it who is just learning and might not even be the genre of music that you like at all, so not that I'm trying to discourage you from showing up to the stream if you feel so inclined, but it's not a development stream. I'm gonna start doing this now, but I'll be doing that at around 1:30, 1:45, sometime around there, after I wrap up my time card and this branch. So I'm gonna push this branch so that I can work on it at the other computer. Okay, thank you all for being here. You are amazing. You're wonderful peoples. We're gonna raid out. Of course, easiest raid target because it's just easy. Irish John. His stream is marked as for mature audiences, so if you are not a mature audiences, then please drop. Otherwise, feel free to join us on the raid. Oh, also, if you aren't very interested in hearing foul languages, if you aren't into that, then probably not the stream for you, but overall, he's a great person, great personality, and means well in all the things. So we're going to get there just as he's doing his intro. And yeah. Aw, thanks. Yes, thank you, Dugasoft, for the shout out to One Line Creative. Today we're going to continue on the Big Gamey song that we started on last Monday. And I'm also going to talk a little bit through some frustrations I had over the past week with mixing a just a 4-bar intro. Gosh, man. I can't mix this 4-bar intro, and it's what I'm trying to learn how to do at the moment. But okay, ciao for now. My VODs get posted to YouTube after the stream. I'll be back again on Wednesday at the normal time. And until then, enjoy. Free drinks at the bar at the 4-bar intro, says Dukasoft. He's paying. Okay, bye.